COVID-19. Is this an end of times pandemic or just a souped up flu? Today on Savage Rock TV, we're going to run a simulation, so stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Savage Rock TV. It's me, Savage XL, and today we're running a COVID-19 simulation on Plague Inc. That's right. Before we get going, let me first say this is not a real simulation. This is only a video game, and the only reason I ran this is because I was curious to see what path it would take. Would Plague Inc. run the same pattern as the real COVID-19 or no? And to my surprise, it did. Alright, so let's get right into it. While setting up the different variables, I tried to pick everything exactly the same as the regular COVID-19. I actually, as the virus mutated, I have to scale it back and devolve the DNA strands to make sure that it didn't get too deadly. The scary part is, in this simulation, it runs wild, and in real life, China took measures to curb the virus, so I think that's the big difference here. In this simulation, as it gets going, it kind of has free run and nobody does anything to stop it. Where in real life, the only good thing I've ever seen about communism is the ability to curb a virus, to throw the whole community into quarantine and make sure that the virus doesn't spread. So as you see, I'm setting up all the different symptoms and I'm making sure that it's not too deadly. All right, COVID-19 is infecting thousands now. Now the spread's very light. We have about 97,000. Okay, we just skipped forward a little bit. We're up to about 500,000 infected, about 500 dead. Now it's starting to spread to different countries. And there you see the red blips starting on the map. Look at this. It looks like it's starting to explode now. Oh yeah, we're up to 13 million infected worldwide, 28,000 dead. In real life, this is where China stepped in and started their quarantine measures. Okay, here I'm setting up the transmission variables. I'm making sure that it can actually be spread on planes and ships and through water. Okay, hearing those little kids chanting that is a little bit creepy for me. I want to take this time to remind everybody, I think everybody needs to wash their hands, make sure that you're not touching your face, and anybody affected by this virus worldwide, you have my condolences and my prayers are with you. Good luck. Okay, here we see that China's pretty much fully infected now at this point. Once again, in real life, this is where China stepped in and put everybody on quarantine. It wasn't able to spread that quickly. So here, this virus is already way more out of control than the real COVID-19. Now, I've run this simulation 3 times, and each time it follows the same path. It goes China, then it hits Korea, Japan, and then it comes over to the United States. And it's spread in the United States, Europe, Australia, seems to be a little bit slower. And then in Africa, it doesn't seem to spread at all, and I think that has to do with the heat. And just today I heard similar reports about the actual COVID-19 virus, that it's having some problem with heat, and also it's being slowed in countries with better medical care. Now, the number of infected in the United States is mirroring exactly what it is here. And I think the only reason we had such a high death rate on this simulation is because China ran wild really early on. But everything else is seeming to follow almost exactly like the real virus. All right, this simulation is winding down. The world finally got their act together and came up with a cure. Hopefully in the real world we can do it a lot quicker. I'd like to thank you for joining me for this simulation. Hopefully the real virus gets nowhere as close to this. Yeah, we gotta pray.